Welcome everybody. So I'm curious about how good you are at speaking up for your needs and how much of a hard time you give yourself when you don't manage it. This came up for me at my bridge lesson this week, and I realised I felt slightly apologetic about the sort of frivolous nature of a bridge lesson, but actually I love using small examples. For me, they're a brilliant place to catch patterns and to practice behaviour when it's not the conversation that decides about my career or my marriage or whatever it is. So for this example, you need to know that in bridge lessons, the hands are set and they're fixed so that everyone on the table of four has the same number of hands to play. By the end of my last lesson, I had only played the very first hand of the evening rather than the three or whatever it was that I would have expected to play. So I wonder if you recognise either of these strategies that I adopted which were not effective. Strategy one, I thought about speaking up, but actually that didn't feel good, and I just sat instead and hoped that someone else would speak up on my behalf, which of course they didn't. My second strategy, not much more effective, and I made an oblique reference. This is the kind of strategy that fits in the same stable as passive aggression for me. I said something like, I noticed the hands don't seem shared out like they normally would do, and I haven't played one since the first round, which provoked the response, really? Gosh, yes, sometimes they are like that. But it definitely didn't lead to the next person offering me their hand to play. And this was the point at which I consciously noticed what was going on and realised quite how unwilling I was to speak up openly and ask to play a hand. So I decided to take a quick internal moment to work out what was going on in terms of needs and what I could do differently. So it's pretty easy to see the need that will be met by asking for and playing a hand, needs in the realms of learning and stimulation. But what was making it so difficult? Without needs understanding, I might frame it as being too sensitive to being liked or being a people pleaser. Pretty judgmental, self-judgmental thoughts, really. With needs understanding, I go to look for the need underneath, recognising that whatever I'm doing, there is a need driving that behaviour. And in this case, what's stopping me speaking up is the totally primal, understandable longing to belong, to be part of the group, to continue to be accepted with this new gang of people. Knowing that made it much easier for me then to speak up for myself, because I could recognise the driver to belong, but I could also remind myself that actually I only want to belong where I'm also being fully me. So if I can't speak up and still be accepted, then this is not the right group for me to be a part of. As it came to the end of the lesson and we were debating another hand, I said that I would really love to play a hand to get all the learning I could from the lesson, and would anyone mind? And despite the fact I was then so nervous and incompetent that I unwittingly cheated and we actually had to abort play, we agreed to play again as a group this coming week. So let's see how that goes.